Bioshock 2 was released on February 9, 2010, and it takes place 8 years after the events of the original game. We've got 20 facts about the city of Rapture after the fall of Andrew Ryan. Get ready to grab that atom with both hands and make a stash. This is Bioshock 2. Number 1. Subject Delta. The player character and a super prototype, Big Daddy, from the Alpha series. Originally a human known as Johnny Topside, he was the first Big Daddy successfully bonded to a little sister, Eleanor Lamb. Number 2. Dr. Sophia Lamb, the primary antagonist and a psychiatrist who took control of Rapture after the fall of Andrew Ryan. She leads a cult known as the Family and champions extreme collectivism, intending to use Eleanor as a vessel for the city's collective consciousness. She was a contemporary of Ryan during his lifetime and often debated him in public forums. Soon Ryan saw her and her ideas as a threat and had her thrown in prison. Number 3. Eleanor Lamb. The daughter of Sophia Lamb and Delta's former little sister. Now an adolescent, she uses her unique abilities to communicate with Delta and guide him through Rapture. Her final personality is shaped by the player's moral choices throughout the game. Once you've rescued her, she will give you a new plasmid that can summon her to fight with you in battle. Number 4. August Sinclair. A businessman and former associate of Andrew Ryan who serves as Delta's primary guide. He views Rapture as a business opportunity and assists Delta in exchange for helping escape the city. He was forced by Sophia Lamb to become the final version of the Big Daddy, the Omega model, in order to stop Subject Delta. Number 5. Alpha Series. Unlike later mass-produced models like the Bouncers and the Rosies, these prototypes were designed with a unique experimental pair bond that linked them to one specific little sister. Alpha Series subjects were chemically and psychologically bonded to a single little sister. This bond was both their greatest strength and their fatal flaw. If the bonded little sister died or was too far away, the Big Daddy would fall into a coma or become dangerously aggressive. Alpha Series retained more free will and mental agility than later models. They were capable of removing their helmets, even though they were still heavily mutated. Number 6. Hacking. The hacking minigame is a real-time, precision-based mechanic that replaces the pipe puzzles from the original game. It is performed either by approaching a machine directly or using the hack tool to fire darts from a distance. When a hack begins, a needle moves rapidly back and forth across a horizontal gauge at the bottom of the screen. You must press a button to stop the needle on specific colored zones. Most hacks require landing on a success zone multiple times to complete the process. Unlike the first game, hacking does not pause the world around you. Enemies can still attack you while you are hacking the interface. Number 7. Dual wielding. Players can now use a weapon and a plasmid simultaneously. This eliminates the need to switch between hands, as in the first game, leading to faster-paced and more tactical combat combinations. Number 8. Underwater segments. As a Big Daddy, players can walk on the ocean floor in certain scripted sequences between districts, offering a unique perspective on Rapture's exterior. As you make your way through, be on the lookout for sea slugs that produce Adam in their natural habitat. Number 9. Little Sisters. Little Sisters remain the primary source of Adam, the city's genetic currency, but their mechanic role and narrative relationship with the player have evolved significantly from the first game. They appear more human and less creepy than the gaunt, doll-like models from the first game. Their proportions are realistic, and they are generally portrayed as slightly older. Because Subject Delta is a Big Daddy, the Little Sisters treat him as a father figure rather than a threat. They affectionately call him Daddy instead of Mr. Bubbles, and display a deeper emotional trust, which can influence player empathy. Most Little Sisters in Bioshock 2 were kidnapped from the surface coastal cities by Big Sisters to replenish Rapture's dwindling atom supply, unlike the original girls, who were mostly residents of the city. Number 10. Big Sisters. Dealing with all of the little sisters in a level, either by saving or harvesting them, triggers a hunt by a big sister, a lethal boss-level enemy that pursues you until defeated. Big sisters are former little sisters who have reached puberty. As they grew, their bodies became unstable due to the long-term atom exposure, and their original mental conditioning began to fail, leaving them violent and insane. Recognizing their newfound strength and genetic potential, Gilbert Alexander and Sophia Lamb equipped them with modified diving suits to serve as the Rapture family's elite security. Number 11. Gathering with Little Sisters. The core loop of Little Sisters now involves a multi-step process. After defeating their protector, you can adopt a little sister by carrying her on your shoulders. She can then be used to find atom-rich corpses. Once a corpse is located, you must protect her while she gathers. This initiates a tower defense combat encounter, where waves of splicers attack. Each little sister must find 2 corpses to gather atom from. Once completed, you will need to decide the fate of the child. Harvest immediately yields the maximum amount of atom but kills the girl. Save initially yields less atom, but as in the first game, you will eventually receive gifts at Gatherer's Gardens, including unique gene tonics like Proud Parent and Demanding Father. Number 12. Video camera. The research camera was updated to record live video rather than taking static photos. Players earn research points by performing creative and varied attacks on an enemy while the camera is rolling, rather than just snapping a picture. By completing research on a class of splicer, you can unlock powerful new plasmids, as well as gaining an advantage against enemies of the same class. Number 13. Grace Holloway. Before the fall of Rapture, Grace was a successful jazz and blues singer. She was eventually blacklisted and left penniless for performing songs that were critical of Andrew Ryan's administration. Years prior to the game's events, Grace encountered Subject Delta while he was still bonded to Eleanor as a little sister. When she tried to take the girl back, Delta struck her, breaking her jaw. This left her with a permanent scar and a deep-seated hatred for Delta, whom she refers to as Tin Daddy. Number 14. Stanley Poole. A cowardly, mousy former journalist from the Rapture Tribune who served as a double agent for Andrew Ryan to dismantle Sophia Lamb's family. Fearing that Eleanor would expose his corrupt mismanagement of Dionysus Park, Stanley kidnapped and sold her to an orphanage, where she was turned into a little sister. He also turned in the player character, Johnny Topside, to Ryan, leading to his transformation into Subject Delta. When Sophia Lamb escaped prison, Stanley panicked and flooded Dionysus Park, drowning thousands of innocent people, including Lamb's own followers, to cover up the evidence of his frivolous spending and parties. Number 15. Gil Alexander. Alexander was instrumental in the development of the automated security systems, bots, and cameras, and the Vita Chambers. He also refined the creation of Little Sisters and developed the pair bond mechanism that linked Alpha Series Big Daddies to specific girls. Driven by unrequited love for Sophia Lamb and guilt over his past actions, Gil volunteered for her new Utopian project. This experiment involved imbuing a single subject with the collective genetic memories of all of Rapture via massive atom infusions. The experiment failed, leaving Gil hideously mutated into a massive aquatic fetus-like creature housed in a tank. He subsequently lost his sanity, splitting into 2 distinct personalities. Gil, his original, soft-spoken self, preserved in pre-recorded audio messages, and Alex the Great, a cackling, megalomaniac persona who believes himself to be the actual CEO of Fontaine Futuristics. Number 16. Development. Bioshock 2 was primarily developed by 2K Marin, a studio specifically formed by 2K Games to create the sequel after original developers Irrational Games passed on the project to focus on Bioshock Infinite. 2K Australia worked closely with 2K Marin on general development. 2K China assisted with art assets and animations. Arcane Studios, the creators of the Dishonored franchise, provided support for level design and world architecture, and Digital Extremes was responsible for developing the entire multiplayer component titled The Fall of Rapture. Number 17. Ethical choices. Bioshock 2 explores morality through two primary types of choices: the recurring decision of how to treat little sisters, and one-off choices regarding the fate of key non-player characters. These decisions influence the ending and, more importantly, shape the character of Eleanor Lamb, who observes and mirrors your actions. Throughout the game, you encounter three major characters who have wronged you or others, and you must decide whether to kill them in a vengeful act or spare their lives, showing forgiveness. Sparing them is generally considered the good path, as Eleanor takes notice of your capacity for mercy. Actions taken against them will be reflected in the sequence where you play as a little sister, seeing the world through her eyes. Number 18. Endings. The game's morality system is designed as a reflection of parenthood. Eleanor watches all of your choices and internalizes them, making her a mirror of Delta's actions. For the good ending, rescuing all little sisters and sparing the NPCs result in Eleanor sparing her mother and using Delta's noble example to forge a better future on the surface, with the rescued little sisters as a new family. The bad ending is obtained by harvesting all of the little sisters, and killing the NPCs causes Eleanor to become a selfish, vengeful survivalist who murders her mother and plots to dominate the world. There's also the neutral, mixed ending. A mixture of choices leads to various outcomes where Eleanor is confused about the right path, potentially leading to her making a final choice for you, or allowing you to choose to sacrifice yourself or save yourself. Number 19. Big Daddy style. To fully embrace the power fantasy and play style of the franchise's iconic protectors, you should focus your loadout on heavy melee, defensive armor, and signature weaponry. Upgrading your drill at a Power to the People station allows you to reflect projectiles or decrease fuel consumption. Once you get the camera and can research enemies, you can earn the dash move that many of the Big Daddies used against you in the first game. Having the Drill Specialist tonic equipped will prevent you from being able to use any weapons outside of the Big Daddy arsenal. However, it greatly increases strength and fuel efficiency. Number 20. The Fall of Rapture. Developed by Digital Extremes, The Fall of Rapture was the competitive multiplayer component of Bioshock 2. It is notably absent from the Bioshock Collection remasters, remaining playable only on the original PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and Legacy PC versions. Players take on the role of citizens recruited by Sinclair Solutions as plasmid test subjects. Team-based mechanics divide the players into factions fighting for either Andrew Ryan or Atlas. Players earn Atom, which are this mode's form of experience points, to level up and unlock new weapons, plasmids, and gene tonics. Players can take photos of defeated enemies with a camera to gain damage bonuses against that specific opponent for the rest of the match. In most modes, a single rosy Big Daddy suit spawns on the map. The first player to reach it gains massive health and a powerful rivet gun, but loses the ability to use plasmids. Gameplay modes include Capture the Little Sister, Civil War, Survival of the Fittest, Atom Grab, and Turf War. Kill 'em Kindly was a DLC exclusive mode where players fight in a free-for-all using only golf clubs. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. If you liked this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.